So what we're doing today is we're just going to do a little bit of Pythagoras theorem, and we're not going to deal with any proofs. We're just going to make it really, really easy and basic. Okay, so what we know is that we're going to use Pythagoras theorem with right angled triangles. And you can see here that we know two sides of the triangle, but we don't know the third side. This third side is called the hypotenuse. But what we do know is this, that if I draw a square on the outside there, and I draw another square on the outside here, the area of these two squares added together is the area of this square here. Okay, so let's see if we can work this out. So, we know that this is 3 and this is 3. So the area of this square must be 3 times 3. So this has to be 9. And if this is 3 centimetres and this is 4 centimetres, then this must be 9 centimetres squared. Now, if this is 4 centimetres and this is a square, then this is 4 by 4. 4 times 4 is 16 centimetres squared. Now, I add these two together, so 9 squared plus 16 centimetres squared is 25 centimetres squared. So I know the area of this square is 25 centimetres squared. So now I think, oh, if only I knew what multiplied by itself is 25. Oh, well, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my square root. So if I do the square root of 25 on my calculator, it's going to give me the answer 5. So now I know that if this area of this square here is 25 centimetres squared, then this length here must be 5 centimetres. Okay, so I've managed to work out my third side. Alright, let's see if we can do the same again with this scenario here. So, I've got a square here. You see what I'm doing? I'm just drawing squares on the side. Okay, and here. Okay, so we say, what's the area of this square? The area of this square is 25 centimetres squared. And what's the area of this square? 12 times 12, 12 times 12, 144 centimetres squared. Add the two together, we get 169 centimetres squared. So I'm just going to write that down actually. 144 plus 25 is 169. So now I think, oh, what multiplied by itself is 169? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what is the square root of 169. What's the square root of 169? When I push that in my calculator, I get 13 centimetres. So I know that length is 13 centimetres. All right. Now, this bottom question here is a tiny bit more tricky. Okay, not particularly, but I'm just going to clean off the board slightly, just so it's not as complicated for your viewing. So, clean off the board. So, what we've got here on this one is, I know the shorter side, I know the longer side, and I know that's the longer side because it's directly opposite the right angle. So this one's a bit unusual. I know my shorter side and I know my longer side. I just don't know what the medium side is. So now let's continue that. Not the best square, not the best square. But I'll try and do that again, do it a little bit better. Okay, yeah. And I want to know my area of my medium square. So, let me think, hang on. The small square plus the medium square is the area of the big square. Okay? But I know the area of the big square, but I don't know the area, and I know the area of the small square. Ah, I've got it. That's what we do. The big square, take away the small square, is the area of the medium square. That's it. Yeah, it's coming back to me now. Okay, and I can also say the big square, take away the medium square, is the area of the small square. Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah, I'm just going to clean this off a bit. Now, that's it. Yeah. So, let's work out. So, first thing I need to do is, what's the area of this square here? What's 17 times 17? 289 centimetres squared. What's the area of the small square? What's 8 times 8? 8 times 8 is 64 centimetres squared. Now, this one though, because we want one of the two short sides, it's subtract. So I need to do 289 minus 64. And when I do that, I'm going to get 225. So I know the area of this is 225 centimetres squared. So now I think to myself, right, okay, what multiplied by itself is 225? Well, I'm going to find out, because I'm going to enter it on my calculator. Square root 225, and what do I get when I enter that? I get 15 centimetres. So I know that third side is 15 centimetres. Okay, so just to finish off, whenever I want the longest side, I add. But whenever I want one of the two shorter sides, I subtract. And when I do subtract, I always put the bigger number in my calculator first. Because if I put the smaller number in and take away the bigger number, I'll get a negative number. And when I square root, then I'll end up with what's called a syntax error. So I don't want to do that. All right, good luck.